Thank you for inviting us up to, or down. We're actually northeast of here a little bit. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for attending and letting us share what we're doing at the Bioenergy Research Initiative. We are a part of the, let's see, I got to get my first slide up here. We are under the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The General Assembly funds our program. This funding was started back in February of last year when Allison and I came on board, so we are a very new program. So we got a little bit of history, but I want to share what we have been doing. We were charged with taking on the grants, as Jacob mentioned, from the Biotech Biofuel Center, and we appreciate the privilege of calling this old plantation style home our home away from home. We are located on one of the Oxford Tobacco Research Station, located in Oxford. We are one of 18 research stations across the state owned by the Department of Agriculture or NC State University. Just emphasizing here the partnership between these two great organizations. This is a great resource that North Carolina has. We are the third most diverse agricultural state in the nation, and a lot of that is due to our diverse topography and climate. We have research stations literally from the mountains to the coast. They represent different elevations from 3,000 feet to, I don't know what this, let's say 3,000 feet to 3 feet above sea level. It's close enough. It represents soils down here in the black organic soils to the sandy soils or white soils in the sand hills. It's red clay soils in the Piedmont. It's what we call marginal soils in the southeast part of the state that you have a trouble growing much of anything on it, but maybe a little bit of Bermuda grass. But it ranges from that to the very productive soils in the river bottoms up in the mountains. So a great resource, a lot of biotech projects going on these 18 research stations. If you count real closely, you'll count 19 because there is one in Greensboro that is owned by NCDA&CS University. Our mission, and I'll just have to read it, is to support the research and development of agricultural and forestry-based products or feedstocks for bioenergy production and therefore agribusiness development. Why are we interested in this? Why should you be interested? Well, money drives everything, right? Today, if you go, back up. If you go to the pump and put in $1, first of all, you don't get much out, right? Maybe a half gallon now. Used to be a quart. But of that $1, 80 to 85 cents leaves North Carolina. Now, if we can grow it here at home, process it, and sell it here at home, 91 to 95 cents of that dollar stays in North Carolina. You add that to that economic multiplier that Jesse mentioned, and it rolls over, I don't know how many billion gallons we can produce, but if it's a billion gallons we can eventually get to, that's close to $1 billion that rolls over 4 or 5 times in our economy. That affects everyone in the state. Our program is really divided into 2 segments. One is this grants program. We had 2 grant cycles last calendar year. So we came in February, we had a $500,000 appropriation that we had to get administered by June of last year. We did it. Then we had a full year appropriation, and now on a 1-year cycle of $1 million per cycle. So in the 2 cycles, we received 38 applications asking for $3.5 million. Well, somebody had to be disappointed because we only had $1.5 million to invest. We were able to get 19 projects started with some negotiations. I'm not bemoaning that fact. I'm thankful that we have that much interest. We recently published another RFP and got those applications in over the weekend, got 20 grants, and guess what? They're asking for about $2 million of money. So there's going to be some more disappointed people in that. What do these grants do? They support research. I'm a farmer from way back, and I like to get out and grow things. Now I can't take credit for these, but these are some of the crops of interest. These fast-growing grasses. This is 1 year growth, people. That's more than 1 year growth. But some of these are interesting as feedstock. Some of them are interesting to be genetic material to breed better bioenergy feedstocks. And these feedstocks can be broken down into starch to cellulose and on down, and you'll hear more about that later from Novozymes. So, part of our project, one of our important projects is genetic improvement. This is up in the mountains where they're breeding cold-hardy sugar canes. They're not sugar canes, but in that family. Some crosses don't work. Some show a lot of potential. This is another project I hope you will hear about next year when you come to one of the Ag Biotech forums. This shows lots of potential. Tobacco. Now we're supporting another project on growing tobacco, and it's not for the way Daddy did it, growing tobacco for smoking and chewing, but extracting oils and sugars and proteins, and you're going to hear more about that in a few minutes tonight. Our other segment of our program is education and outreach, and we do this through field days, actually getting out on the farms and seeing these presentations right beside these fast-growing grasses. This could be an annual, like biomass sorghum, or it could be giant miscanthus, growing 18, 15 feet tall per year. Fast-growing trees that reach 30 feet in 3 years, short rotation trees or rotation crops. Recently had a field day up in the mountains up at the Mills River Station, just again highlighting the relationship with NC State. We drew 130 people, a diverse climate or characters from all across the state. While half of them were out in the field learning things, the other half was in sort of more of a classroom setting. And this was, as I said, very diverse. We had teenagers to retirees, we had farmers to entrepreneurs, we had high school teachers to professors. So this is just a great way to get the word out about what we're doing. We participate in the Southern Farm Show held here in Raleigh each winter, a 3-day event where people come by our booth, all ages, and allow a few minutes for us to share the story. I hope you recognize this. You're sitting right here. Back in the spring, we had 3 more promising or mature projects, and we invited 3 promising industry technologies and put them in here together and just showed how our research attempts to support what the industry needs. So, in closing, our mission is to promote the bioenergy industry here in North Carolina. We do it through a grant program, and we do it through education and outreach. I look forward to sharing with you at the the social, excuse me. But I won't leave you with one thought for the day, and that is that throughout history, farmers have been relied on to provide food, fiber, and forest products. Jacob mentioned our basic needs. Now we're beginning to ask farmers to provide crops, grow crops to provide fuel. Thank you for your attention.